Well, hello. Happy Black History Month. We are back again for another hell. I don't know. And I really feel like our podcast name is just so perfect for, 2025. So this is great. Just keep it going because I don't know what's happening, but I do know we have Darrell and we have Nickie and myself for another lovely discussion about the Grammys recap. So, you know, um, I'll just start off by saying I was shocked. I was pleasantly surprised. Um, I thoroughly enjoyed the show from beginning to end, which is kind of scary. So I feel like something's up.
Scary.
I feel like something's up because that went too well. So
I agree. I feel like the Grammys have been kind of like blah for the last like few years, but this year was like the whole like show was actually good, and I wasn't bored in the entire like 4 hours.
I think I know the reason. I think I feel like one of the reasons why is because I think they made a smart choice by making most of the performances all the new artists. So it had more of a like engaging thing because they didn't do a whole bunch of like, I don't know. I mean, nothing wrong with like tributes and things like that, but I feel like the Grammys uses a lot of like, they always try to do like the old and new performers and they mix them together, which I think this time they just have the artists focus a little bit more on just the artist. Like, I mean, I will say I also feel like it was like a concert, but it was cool.
Yeah. What do you think, Daryl?
I mean, I will say I don't typically enjoy watching the Grammys if I'm being honest, because one, I think it is the singular award show that runs way too long, followed very closely by the Oscars.
Hmm.
That being said, this was the best Grammys I have seen in a very long time. I do think it had to do with the best new artists, although I do also think that they usually have new artists like perform at the Grammys. I think what it was more so for me was that the caliber of music, it was better this year. If I'm being honest, like I think what we heard, what we saw, like there was some pretty good performances,
Hmm.
and I think that also for me, I'm probably in the minority here, but like even if an I'm going to say this is a controversial take, but even if a certain artist deserves it, I don't necessarily love when any one artist sweeps every category, even if they deserve to. Even if they deserve to, because I enjoy seeing different people get up and give speeches and like seeing their responses and stuff like that. And when the same person gets up multiple times, it's like, okay, whatever. So I felt like this Grammys, they were really spreading out like the awards. And I think that that is a direct result of them. They kept telegraphing to us that there's like this 1,300 new voting body that they've gotten.
13,000.
13, ooh, not thousand. That's a difference. Um, 13,000 new governing body that they said we got black folks, we got women, there's an age cap, and I was like, you know what, and y'all got it right this time. So it seems like they should have been doing that for a very long time. So I think in general they really like this year it felt like the Grammys really tried to like change course and like really deliver on what they feel like the general consensus is about music. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
I agree. I agree with that. Actually, I think we said the same thing, Nikki. We said that it was spread out this time. The only one I think deserved something that didn't get something was Billy. So I do think
Yeah.
she was robbed a bit.
But what would she have gotten though?
I think Song of the Year.
Who was on? No,
Kendrick.
because we were talking about it, and I was like, who did I say I wanted to win? Probably Sabrina because I love Sabrina. But I think if we lived in another type of world, I would have
You said
assumed
Billy.
not. I wanted. I said Billy
You said you want Billy to win and you
for
think
song
Billy
of
will
the
win.
year. I said for song of the year Billy, for record of the year
You're-
Sabrina.
Yes.
I mean, that is true because I do love Birds of a Feather. But what I will also say is that I'm not surprised Kendrick Lamar won. Like
I'm not
I
surprised.
if
No, no, not at
like
all.
I just didn't think they were going to give it to him in such a stat category. I really didn't think they would. I thought Billie Eilish was a shoe in. Birds of a Feather is critically acclaimed. Part of me though, I'm gonna be honest, like her performance was one of my least favorite performances. And
Mm-hmm.
I love Billie Eilish. So this is not a shit on Billie Day. I love Billie Eilish. I've listened to all of her, every single song she's ever released. And I think Hit Me Hard and Soft was a great album. We reviewed it. I thought it was lovely. I don't think it has, upon, like, I've listened to it so many times, and I don't think it is, upon re-listening to it, I don't enjoy it as much as I did the first time. Like, I don't still enjoy it as much. That
Mm-hmm.
said, Birds of a Feather, I have enjoyed every single time I've listened to it. And I think that Billie Eilish, unfortunately for me, is starting to get a bit stale, considering what considering how exciting music is becoming. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
have these new artists like Chapel Roan and Sabrina Carpenter, even though Sabrina Carpenter is not a new artist, but you have these new artists coming in and making really big splashes, and they're being really bold with their music. And I'm not saying that Billie is not, but that performance was boring. She again whispered almost the entire song. Phineas,
We,
like, his vocals were almost louder than hers as a background vocalist, and I think that Billie Eilish's staying power in terms of, like, the general public, like her fan base, like, I think her fandom, her popularity has definitely waned since her first album, Where When We All Go to Sleep, Where Do We Go? It's definitely waned a bit, but she's been able to stick around because award governing bodies love her music. So she's been heavily rewarded in that aspect. But I do think there's an element of performance that she is still lacking, in my
mm-hmm.
opinion. There's an element of performance she's still lacking. There's an element of, like, vocal variety she's still lacking. In that, like, I was bored. I was bored. And this is the youngest multiple Oscar for Best Original Song person in the history of music. And I was bored watching this girl who I actually enjoy perform.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it just wasn't a, and I actually saw her on, like, she was like number 3 on somebody's list of best performances of the night. And I was like, Billy? I
That's
love
crazy.
Billie Eilish, but 3?
Three
From
is
the
crazy.
bottom, maybe 3 from the bottom, but, like, 3? Yeah,
Three
no,
is crazy.
I need her to. The pictures were cute, I guess, and I'm not saying you got to be. I'm not saying you got to be jumping around the stage and flipping off of pianos like Benson Boone, because you ain't got to do all that. But Ray stood in one spot and sang her ass off, and that's all I needed. Billie's just not captivating in that way. I hate to say it, she's just not. So
Go ahead,
I,
Jordan.
I will say, funny enough, I actually agree. This is a person that, like, I really like Billie Eilish a lot. But the thing is, what I realized, I enjoy I enjoy her as a songwriter, and I enjoy her as somewhat, I guess, of a vocalist. I don't consider her to be like the greatest vocalist or anything like that, but I do find her voice to be interesting. But I do agree. I do feel like it's starting to become a problem to me in the sense of, like, I think she's so big that I almost feel like, I don't know if it's a thing of, like, they feel like they don't have to do much with her just because it's just her presence is enough, because her fans, and similar with Taylor Swift fans, they are just fine with the person just being there and just
Mm-hmm.
singing. It's not about this, like, because, I feel like, when it comes to, like, black artists and white artists, I think, black people have a higher standard of performance value and things like that. Personally, I just don't think white people do as much. And I think, for them, I saw a whole bunch of praise for Billie Eilish's performance. They're like, oh my God, it was so amazing. It was so gorgeous and blah, blah, blah. And it was weird. I heard somebody was, like, recording her perform it, like, not the actual one we saw on TV. And she actually was louder. Just the TV version, for some reason, was not the same. I don't know why.
okay,
So I don't know. But still, doesn't matter. The performance was still boring. I agree. But I feel like there needs to be some kind of, like, change. I feel like some kind of, like, artist change or something like that. And I do think the performance value, because I even saw clips of, like, her tour and stuff, and I'm like, this isn't the most interesting thing. Like, even though and what's crazy is, like, she has super interesting music videos. Like, if you see her music videos, they're super
yes.
creative.
Mm-hmm.
You almost be like, wow, this artist is so captivating. But then when she performs live, it's kind of like, what's happening? And I do feel like, honestly, I do feel like this entire era was, like, kind of lazy. I feel like every video was kind of just whatever. I feel like nothing really had a direction. I feel like the album had a title, but it didn't correlate with, like, anything else visually. So So I understand like why. I just feel like the only thing I would have gave her is just something for Birds of a Feather, but that's it. Otherwise, though, I don't feel like I'm not in agreement with this whole her fans being upset about her losing album of the year. That's been a whole thing today. I keep seeing over and over and over again,
Who knew she had that many fans? I was like, damn. I
and
didn't
I
know
was
her
like, you
fan
know
base was
what?
that activated.
And listen, I said, you know what? You guys can have a seat. Now you guys see how it feels to be on the other side. Everybody can relax.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to Billy because I feel like we skipped around a little bit. I think for the whole award show, one, I liked how the performances was spaced out. I do feel like the award show needs more actual awards presented during the award show. Because I was like, when's the last time we saw an award? Like,
It did feel like they kind of rushed everything towards the end. They were like, song,
Yeah.
album, record. I
Yeah.
was like,
yeah, like I feel like, dang, like when are the actual awards? Like for like y'all, there was only 9 awards presented. Beyonce got there at 8 o'clock our time. 9 o'clock your time, Darrell. The award show ended at 12, and by the time Beyonce got there, they already given like 2 or 3 away.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have very many awards left after that, which was kind of wild for me. But I actually think the awards were actually also kind of spaced out this year. Like you said, Darrell, not everyone didn't get everything, and then I also think, honestly, in my opinion, I think everybody who got an award actually deserved the award that they got for what they got it for.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you. I think going back to Billy's album and even going back to like, okay, here's my thought. Billy's album is a great album, but it does sound very similar to the past 2 works that she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift's album sounded like 31 songs of the same song. Short and Sweet, the Sabrina Carpenter album, that album produced a lot of hits. And I don't understand why Billy fans were upset with, we'll get to who they were upset with, but they should have been upset with Sabrina because when Sabrina won Pop Album of the Year, they kind of knocked Billy out, in my opinion, of Album of the Year because it wouldn't have made sense to give Billy Album of the Year and she didn't even win the album for her category.
I would agree with
that's
that as
fair.
well.
That's fair. I do think that I don't understand why people get so upset. Like, I don't think that there's like, if you're upset about music, first of all, music is subjective. So everyone does not have the same opinion. You can
Mm-hmm.
think something. There are plenty. I was watching it with my partner and my friend, my best friend, and she was just like, they both. I love Charlie XCX. I just want to put that out there. I love Charlie XCX. When she performed, they were both sitting at the TV like, what? They were like, I
The
don't.
mic was off.
What it was off, and I ain't
It
like
was
that. But
off.
she
It was
that's
off.
how she don't usually sing live like that, I don't think. But I love the performance. I thought it was good. They were just like, literally, Brooke was like, "Shut up, Brooke." She was literally like, "I don't think I understand music." Cause like she's very popular, and I just think I just don't understand music, and I'm like, I love it. So what I'm saying is, different strokes for different folks, and when it comes to award ceremonies, that is going to happen every now and then. I think my biggest issue is that people equate popularity with what was the best. Now,
Correct.
I would argue that that would be valid if that is what the criteria was for what they were judging based off of. But if that was a criteria, then other people would have won many more times than they actually have,
Exactly.
which we'll get to. So, what I'm hearing is that the goal is always moving depending upon who is setting it. Because at the end of the day, they're like, Billie Eilish has already won Album of the Year. Okay, she's already won.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm being honest, I don't think she deserved Album of the Year, even if Beyonce hadn't won. I don't think she should have won. I think Sabrina Carpenter probably should have won. I love Sabrina Carpenter's album. I thought it was fantastic. I probably put Billie Eilish on the thing, but I personally enjoyed Sabrina Carpenter's album more.
Same.
I think that people amass these popular fan bases, and you also got to think about the demographic of these fan bases, which is why they're so vocal online because they ain't got jobs. But like, I I hope that what the Grammys is doing is starting to be like, listen, not only are we putting our finger on the pulse of like what is actually culturally relevant, but we're also going to reward good music. We're going to take into consideration what's popular, but what is actually important is that we are giving people their flowers. Billie Eilish has gotten plenty of flowers from the Grammys. Taylor Swift, the thing about Taylor Swift that makes no sense is that it wasn't even a critically acclaimed album. Like even on that, like nobody took anything from her. Even there were about like 6 or 7 albums before. I truly don't believe that that album was. I think that in my brain, I thought she was going to win because they just awarded it to her all the time. I genuinely thought that she was going to win for that reason. But like, it wasn't a critically acclaimed album. Almost every other album was more critically lauded than hers. Her own fans seemed to not like it as much as they liked the other albums. It was they kept calling her capitalist Barbie because she came out with a million a million versions of that same album. So I just don't understand why people can't just say this is something that was deserved, even if you don't personally agree with it. This is something that was deserved, and fucking let it go.
That's what it is too. Because I'm like, y'all not on tour with these people. Y'all not working for these people. It's y'all not getting paid for this. It's ridiculous. And even too with Taylor Swift, like the one thing I will say, I actually shockingly enjoyed her that entire night because I like the fact that I think she knew this is not my night, and
It's not.
she just had a good time and enjoyed herself. And I was like, respect. And she stood up for everybody. She was clapping for everybody. She didn't have
Was
no salty
dancing for everybody.
dancing for everybody. And I said, listen, I will give her that because I was like, that to me shows like, okay, I don't feel like I'm owed everything or like just because I'm Taylor Swift, like y'all need to give me an award or stuff like that. That bitch was having a great ass time,
I
drunk as
I
hell.
I honestly think she came to the Grammys knowing that
Yeah.
this wasn't her year just by what she was wearing.
Yeah.
Like she showed up with
What's wrong with what she was wearing?
I
Hold on.
mean,
What's wrong with what she was wearing?
it was a nice cocktail dress. It was a nice Vivian Westwood cocktail dress, but like,
She usually looks like that.
but Taylor Swift don't really wear like that. Was just a basic red dress.
So she usually looks like that. I don't know what you want me to say. She looked.
Anyway,
I thought she looked great for what it's worth.
she looked nice.
She looked good.
Gowns. She looked nice, but I will also say, just wrapping this before we go to the big event, which is what has happened with that lady, the other lady, this blonde, the other blonde lady. I want to ask you guys, in your opinion, what were your top 3 performances in order of the night?
Oh, in order, like from
third, second, first. Who wants to go first? Dun, 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 dun.
I'll go first.
Okay.
They're probably going to not be the same as y'all's, if I'm being honest. But these were my favorite performances. Can I do 4 because 3 and 4?
No,
kind of like,
3.
Please, can I just do 4?
No,
can I do 4?
No, stick to the rules.
So, number 3 is a Slash. I really, really, really enjoyed Ray and Benson Boone, and I'm putting them together because I enjoyed them for the same reason. I felt they delivered great vocals, great stage personality, great showmanship. Benson Boone was flipping off the tables. I thought he was great, and Ray was singing her ass off. I thought she was great. Number 2, I fucking love Sabrina Carpenter's performance. I thought Sabrina Carpenter was great. She did some cheeky shit. Like, that was funny. Come on. Like, it was like the play that goes wrong.
It was musical theater.
And, like, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I love that little bitch. And then my favorite performance, I don't even know if I can count it as a full performance because it wasn't, but Cynthia Erivo was actually my favorite. Like, I feel bad that it was attached to the rest of that tribute. But the first 3 minutes of that tribute were
Spectacular.
like, you remember when back in the day, you would see an awards performance and everybody would stop talking. Even if you were in a group of like 10, 15 people, everybody would just be so transfixed on the TV because you were watching something that felt just like special and amazing. Everything stopped when Cynthia started singing Fly Me to the Moon. It was perfect. It was literally perfect. And I just thought like she is, say what you want about her, whatever. People have issues with her for various reasons, but like this is, in my opinion, the most skilled, versatile, and talented vocalist in the mainstream industry that we have right now. And she was my favorite.
All right,
Okay.
Jordan, on to you.
Okay. My absolute favorite performance of the night was Shakira. I mean, come on. How can you not like Shakira? I'm kidding. Kidding, guys.
Well, I like
Joking.
Shakira,
No, I'm kidding because that performance had me extremely confused. Number 3 would be Chapel Roan. Because that for me actually was my first time actually watching a full entire performance of her. And then it finally made me go, oh, okay, I see why people like her. I see the appeal. I heard the vocals. I really enjoyed the song. I never heard that song in its entirety before, and I really enjoyed it. So, and then it made me go. That performance made me go listen to her whole album the next day. So I have to give her credit for that because she made me go listen to the album because of her performance. So I'll give her number 3. Number 2 was Sabrina. Also loved her performance. I thought it was. We all know at this point I love Sabrina. And then number 1 would be Doechii. Doechii was incredible. Doechii was incredible. That is a performer. I feel like, and the reason why I say even number 1 too is because I feel like in this day and age now, we are really lacking like performers in the sense of like quality level of like Beyonce and things like that. So the little bit of people we still have that we have that are giving me that, I'm going to give them their flowers. And Doechii ate that entire performance up, and I'm so proud of her. And her winning and everything was just a great moment for me of the night.
Yeah. So I will say I feel like I thought ours would be similar, but they're not. I mean, they're kind of similar. Nope. You had 3 minutes to explain yours. You will let me go first, and then you can explain after. You will wait.
Okay. I wasn't gonna explain, but go ahead.
For me, number 3 is Chapel Roan. For the same reason that Jordan said. 1, her mic was on. Her mic was on the entire time, and she didn't sound winded. She sounded great. I thought her performance was great. I thought she captivated the audience. She did choreography. She was up and down. Chef's kiss. Number 2, I will say Cynthia Erivo because she just flat foot sang. Like you said, Darrell, there is very little people out here in the world that can actually touch Cynthia right now when it comes to a vocal delivery. And she was singing like a big band swing type number and captivated the entire audience with just her singing and walking across the stage. And then number 1 for me, also Jordan, is Doechii because I felt like Doechii was like, I have never seen a rap performance from a female artist that great. Like, she's performing at the level that Kendrick is performing at, and she is a new artist. And I think she is somebody to watch. But yeah, those are my top 3. I will say Sabrina is like number 4 or 5 for me because the vocals weren't completely there. Even though the concept was cool, I think if you're going to be a performer and your job is to be a singer, you need to actually sing well through the entire performance. Just my take. Now you can go.
I feel like I have to amend because I don't know how. It's because it's been a long work day for me. I completely forgot about Doechii, and I'm amending that Doechii, Cynthia, Sabrina. So Ray and Benson Boone, they got to go. But that's so because Doechii ate that performance. Doechii was the best performance of the night by far. I don't know how I forgot that, but we're not about to tolerate no Sabrina slander because listen, I thought she sounded good, and her mic was on too.
Yeah, she sounded winded
the whole time.
Winded.
Well, she was also jumping in and out of the stage.
So was Doechii.
Like running out of it.
Doechii was in split.
Doechii was rapping.
Still take rap. Singing. You do the lyrics that Doechii is doing in Nissan Altima.
I'm not doing that. She didn't sing Nissan Altima.
I mean, Denali's River. You actually get winded doing her verses from time to time. We all do.
My point is, I thought the reason why I'm actually genuinely surprised both of y'all love Chaperone. I actually didn't love Chaperone's performance at all. But I will also say, I thought it was good. I thought it was just fine. But I will say, I'm also a pretty big fan of Chaperone, and I have seen her perform a lot. You should watch her Tiny Desk, Jordan.
Okay.
Um, I really do like watching her perform, and her performance of "Good Luck Babe" on, I want to say it was the Tonight Show. It was on one of those like nighttime shows. That's my favorite Chaperone. She ate down with that performance, and I personally, I think the reason I didn't love her performance, y'all and probably the general public will kill me, but I don't like Pink Pony Club as a song. I just don't love that song. I'm just like,
Hmm.
she had a couple other songs that I would have rather her sang, but I know that everybody else loves it, so that's just a me thing. But she sounds great, and I do appreciate that if Chappell Roan is on stage, her microphone is on. I feel like all these little pop, if you want to be a pop star, if you want to be an R&B, well, not R&B, that's different because most people sing live when it's R&B, but like, if you want to be a pop star, please take notes and have your microphone on. We want you to sing. Even if you don't sound amazing all the time, we want you to sing. We don't want to hear the backing track. We can listen to the album at home. That's it. They're not going to hear me
Okay,
sing.
let's go a little shady. Who was your worst performance of the night? I can start, and then we'll go in reverse. I actually think the worst performer actually came during the pre-show, and that was none other than Miss Money Long. It was rough.
No.
It
Yes,
That was
was
bad.
it,
That was bad.
it was
but
rough. It
no,
was
but
rough.
no.
Um, if you're sick, drop the key. If you can't hit the
No,
notes and you're sick,
my,
drop the key.
here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Was it rough? Okay, it was a little rough. I think she'd agree with that. But she literally won a Grammy for her performance of that very same song on BET. And
I know.
I really didn't appreciate, no, because as a performer, every now and then you're not gonna be your best. Like, she's clearly
And
sick. She
and
clearly has
that's my
something
point.
going
As a
on.
performer, you should be smart enough to know I am not well right now vocally. Why am I trying to do? You and I have had this conversation a lot of times about original keys. If you cannot do it in the original key because you are not well, drop the key.
Maybe she thought she could.
Whitney Houston dropped the
Obviously, she thought
key.
she could.
Whitney Houston dropped the whole step, 3 whole steps all the time.
She obviously thought that she could sing the song, or she
Well, she
wouldn't
didn't.
attempt to do
Well,
it.
well, I will say she did respond to it, and she did say, "I hear everything y'all saying." She said, "Just watch the performance on mute because I look the fuck good." That's what she said.
I know that's right. She looked like one of the muses from Hercules. I know that's right. Come on, Money.
Yeah.
I love Money Long.
Well, that was the worst
She's
performance for
talking
me
to
pre-show.
you, Nicki. She's talking to you.
Let me say something right now. I'm never watching performance again. Never. She don't have to worry about it. Have to worry about it. Never watching it again. But the worst performance to me of the night, it's a toss-up between The Weeknd and Billy. The Weeknd could have kept that performance, in my humble opinion. I don't know. Lainey Wilson was also pretty boring. We'll go with The Weeknd.
Damn. I was going to say, okay, Billy's definitely one of mine, but I was also going to say, I really don't understand why the hell Lainey was singing in this damn tribute. I didn't understand where she came from,
Bizarre.
why it was. There were so many people in that audience that could have been there. Coco, just so much people. I don't understand how that happened. So that's one of them for me, just because I was confused. I didn't understand why that happened.
Yeah. What about you, Darrell?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, there's two. You probably forgot about the other one, but like Lainey, yeah, Lainey was like, that was weird. But also, I don't know how to say it. Kraguban?
Oh, I forgot. I thought they were commercial
Krugerman.
music.
Krugerman.
Krugerman. Here's the thing. Said, what the fuck am I watching? Listen, everybody like different stuff. I ain't shading them. I ain't saying they're not good at what they do. I'm just saying, I watched that and I was like,
That is not. I'll tell you guys, because I actually have listened to 3 of their albums and I actually enjoy their music a lot. The problem is they are not people to watch live. They are very much instrumental music that should just be played when you're like working throughout the day, because most of their music isn't vocals. It's a lot of just like background, like the girls just kind of like singing like random notes, but it's not like actual words. Some songs they have like full songs, but most of it is about like the production, the guitars and things like that. It's actually good music. You just can't watch. You just can't listen to it live. It's not that. It's not what it's for.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was also gonna say it's funny that you mentioned Shakira earlier because I did like her performance, but I thought that her performance was so like disjointed in a way that like she had that sad thing before, and then it was like a trap hip hop Latin song, which was fine until she had like a choir or something. Like it felt like it
Mm-hmm.
was going in a different direction, but then she went back to this weird like. I was like, Shakira, what the fuck is you doing? Ain't she like 50? I was
Too many
like, this is a
ideas.
weird. It was
Too
way
many
too many
ideas,
ideas in one performance, and I
and
love
she's
Shakira.
and she's also already done all that stuff before. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
she's done. We've
Yeah.
seen you do this belly stuff a million times. It's getting to me. To me, Shakira is giving me Pink, where Pink was always in the damn air doing circus acts all the time. That's how Pink. That's how Shakira is for me. It's the same thing.
I agree. I had a thought and it lost me, but I'm gonna come back to it. What was your take, Darrell, on Teddy Swims' performance? You didn't mention him.
It was good. He sang the song. I think he sang that same song last year though, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know if he sang it last year, but
or maybe he didn't. I don't know. But he performed. I'm pretty sure he performed last year. Here's the thing. This is another unpopular opinion. I don't. Maybe it's because it's so popularized now. I don't love that song either. I thought he sounded great. I like Teddy Swims. I think his voice is great. I wish him very much success, but I didn't care. If I'm being honest, I
He's
just didn't care.
he's boring to me.
he's boring. Oh, I know what I'm about to say. I need the Grammys to actually, and no shade to what I'm about to say. If you are going to do tributes or types of tributes to people like Tina Turner, Michael Jackson, get people who actually can sing it and dance it effectively. Love Janelle Monáe. However, I think we could have had, I don't know, Chris Brown do that performance. Miles Frost from actual MJ could have did that performance. Because Janelle didn't really sound that great. She was entertaining, but she didn't really sound that great. Same thing with like Tina Turner. Adrienne Warren would have made much more sense when they did the Tina tribute. Like, you have Broadway resources out here that you can actually use to give a solid performance and introduce new talent to the world rather than just saying, oh, this person can do it and they'll be fine. Because to me, that kind of waters down the quality of the tribute for that artist who has like this historical impact. And that's my hot take with
I would
this.
agree. I would agree with
I mean,
that.
I agree, but I also think that they're trying to get like. I agree with you, but also like they want names. I feel
That's
like
what
they
it
want
You're,
is.
but I
names
said
for
you're at the
tributes.
Grammys though. You don't necessarily need a name for a
No,
tribute.
I agree with you, but I think they want names. Otherwise, they would. I personally did think I thought Janelle Monáe did a good job. I didn't think it was amazing. I did not, but as a person, I love Janelle Monáe's music. I've never been obsessed with her singing voice, if I'm being frank, but I do love her music, and I love her as a performer. But I
Mm.
do kind of, as much as I love her, I kind of wish they had got somebody else for that. Like
Same.
if here's what I would say, the only reason why I'm okay with it is because it was not a Michael Jackson tribute. It was a Quincy Jones tribute, and they just put that song in there. You know,
I
if
get
it
that,
had
but
been a Michael, it had been a Michael tribute, that would have been different for me.
But Daryl, no. I disagree because when you think Quincy Jones, you think Michael Jackson, and that was the closing of his tribute, I believe, right?
I don't
I think it was the
remember.
closing of his tribute. Like
Yeah.
you can't. It's like you can't do a tribute to Babyface without Tony Braxton.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but like Quincy Jones is not just known for Michael Jackson, though.
I know he's not just known for Michael Jackson. That's what Cynthia was there for. I guess Lainey was there for it. Also, why did they have Jacob Collier on the piano and Lainey singing? Jacob should have been singing.
I
He
thought
was
he was
right
going to
there.
at least he didn't even get background vocals. I was like,
Nothing.
you just
I
gonna
didn't
place it?
understand.
Anybody could have done just like John Legend did in that first tribute, and I'm like,
And Brittany Howard,
I
two
was like,
great vocalists
why?
are sitting right there, and this man, I don't even know his name, is like doing the whole vocals when two people
Yeah.
sound way better than he do.
And Brad Paisley was there, which I know y'all don't really fuck with, but Brad Paisley sings now, and I'm like, why are none of the singers singing? I don't get that.
Yeah, that
That's
was weird. That was weird choices were made with those things. I didn't understand that.
It was very strange. All right,
Yeah,
let's get to this blonde cowgirl. How do we feel about Beyonce finally taking home album of the year? Jordan, you start us because they're all gonna be long winded.
And if I am, you'll sit and listen.
Well, I'm just playing. Go ahead, Jordan.
I like how y'all start with me because y'all know I have probably the least to say on this matter, but I'm very happy for her. I think it was well deserved. I thankful that she gave me a forever meme with being. I'm so thankful for that. Always. Thank you so much. Even though I, funny enough, I actually don't agree with everybody else. Everybody else says they think she knew already. I actually don't agree with that. I actually do think she was genuinely surprised. But I love that she just walked in, got an award. She looked amazing. I love that her manager told her to get her ass up and get the award, sitting right next to her. That was a great moment. And then, yeah, I think it was long overdue. I do feel like, she could have gotten it for other albums. Me personally, I do think, it still bothers me to this day because I'm like, she really should have gotten it for something that changed the music industry when she literally changed album release going from Tuesday to Friday. I think that was enough alone to make somebody win album of the year. But that's just still me. I'm still stuck on self-titled should have won. But I also Beck's album was good, but whatever. But yes, I'm happy for Beyonce. I'm glad that she won. And I also do not agree that Billie Eilish was crying because she lost. I think she was crying because Beyonce won. And I do think that most of the people I think majority of those people that were happy were all happy for her. I don't think anyone was actually truly mad or upset the way they're trying to paint the narratives of these people in the audience. I don't think that's
Lady Gaga was in tears.
Yeah, exactly. And I think everybody in that room knew. You heard the entire room cheer and go nuts because everybody was like, "This is time. She's long overdue." Because I swear to y'all, if they would have been like, "Audrey 3000," or if they said Charlie XCX or anything else, funny enough, I knew my heart's heart that I called it from the beginning. I said Taylor Swift is not going to take home any single award because this is not her year. And I was correct. She didn't take home anything. But I knew she wasn't winning that. The only person that had me kind of like, a little bit was, I said, because funny enough, everybody kept saying Billie, Billie, Billie. I said, people need to really understand the actual true competition that she had was Sabrina and Charlie. Those were the actual two that she was competing against. But I'm glad that she won. Well deserved. Congratulations, Beyonce, and thank you so much now for making Cowboy Carter tickets go up $100 more because I've already seen the prices.
Yeah, $76 to $801. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Darrell.
I'm actually not gonna be too long with it. I think I obviously am happy because I love Beyonce. She's my favorite artist. But here's the thing: I personally, and we said this on the podcast when we reviewed Cowboy Carter, and I still feel this way. I personally feel like Cowboy Carter is Beyonce's best album. It's not her most listenable album. It's not her most boppy album, but it is her best album, in my opinion. That said, Beyonce should have 4 album of the years, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
She should have self-titled, Lemonade, Renaissance, and Cowboy Carter. The fact that she has one, I'm excited about, I'm happy about, and we can let that whole narrative go now. I feel like the Grammys was a bit like, all right, girl, here. Lucky felt a little bit like that. But here's the thing. Beyond that, I hate that it has gotten to this narrative where, like, this woman who has literally changed Beyonce has changed the industry. Like Jordan said, Beyonce literally changed how people release music. And as I alluded to before, self-titled, Renaissance, Lemonade, clearly it wasn't about popularity when they didn't win. So my whole issue is that, like, the Grammys always found a way to discredit her. Always. They always found a way to say, no, someone else, no. And my biggest issue is that even if this was like a legacy award, even if this was like a career award, I didn't hear that uproar when Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars for Everything Everywhere All at Once, when quite literally anyone could have played that role and it would not have changed that film at all. People get awarded with lifetime achievement awards in the form of these awards all the time. And it would be one thing if she didn't actually deserve it, but she did. Also, even if we're moving out of the realm of it being a lifetime achievement award, because I think that also discredits the album itself, that album was the most critically acclaimed album that was nominated. It was by far the most critically acclaimed album. It was an amazing album. It was an album that opened the doors for so many different people. A lot of people were like, "Oh, well, culturally, it didn't. Culturally, culture." I'm like, "What cultures you talking? What you talking about?" Quite literally, it brought Black people to the forefront in the conversation about country music. Like, how is that not culturally relevant? So and my last thing on that is that, like, through this one album, Shabuzi, Raina Roberts, what's the other girl? Tana
Tierra,
Adele, Tiara,
Tierra,
like, how what's her last name?
Brittany, Tierra,
Yeah,
Adele, Brittany. Yeah,
all these people, Willie Jones, all these people saw spikes in their streaming numbers because Beyonce put them on her country album. Beyonce is the first Black woman to ever win a country award, which is ridiculous in the duration of America that we've only had one Black woman win a country award, and it was because a Black woman who was popular in another area dared to venture out and do something different. She has been excluded from basically the fact that she even made this album. She dared these people to tell her she couldn't do it. She dared these people not to acknowledge her. And it worked out in her favor, but I hate the fact that it always seems like the bar moves when it comes to Black women. Like, the fact that Beyonce has been so successful, she's been so innovative, so culturally shifting. Otherwise, we wouldn't still be talking about her if she had not done these things. But for whatever reason, people always find a way to discredit her. And we don't do that with other people. I want her to take this album of the year, and I don't want her to ever submit another work of art to the Grammys ever again. That's the last Grammy I think she should ever win. And I think she needs to stay home. I don't want to see her at the Grammys ever again because I think she needs to be like, I have given all I have and I am done with you bitches, and just release music for fun. That's what I think.
I will actually. Here's what I have to say. I'm very happy that Beyonce took this award home. I think it is deserved. I think it is, again, Cowboy Carter is her best album. Is it my favorite album? No. But I do think collectively, for a body of work, it's her best album. But I would actually like to touch on like a little bit of a different point, just based on like what I've been seeing on social media. A lot of people have been saying like, did anyone even listen to this album? How is this album switching culture? It's not country, X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to be honest with you, it is not people who look like us who are saying this. So I am actually going to speak to my white counterparts here. We as Black people are forced to learn American history of our oppressors from the early ages of kindergarten all throughout our adult life. But you have the luxury of not having to learn about Black history and Black culture. And if you do learn about Black history and Black culture, you learn about, for the month of February, it's Martin Luther King, it's Rosa Parks, it's the Civil Rights Movement. That's the extended element of what you know about Black culture. Go on a journey, like we have to, like we're forced to go on journeys to learn culture and history, to understand the roots, and then you will probably understand why Cowboy Carter is the culture phenomenon that it actually is. Because this lady brought back actual roots of country music. Country music is not just what you think Chris Stapleton is doing, what you think Casey Musgrave is doing, what you think Dolly Parton did. It was Black music before it was white music. It is infused with blues. It is infused with gospel. That's what the original roots of country music is. And that is my prayer, that people who have that criticism will actually go out and do some work on their own and actually try to figure out, why did people resonate so well with this album, even though it's not an album you can replay all the time. It's not that. To me, Cowboy Carter is an academic piece. I would almost argue it should be a Pulitzer Prize winning album. It's not an album for you just to turn on and just bop to. Yes, there's some great songs on there that we will love to replay and listen to, but I don't think that was the purpose of this album. And I think because it told us. I don't know about you guys. I saw a visual element of Cowboy Carter listening to it without actually seeing a doggone visual. And I've never experienced music like that ever in my life. And to me, that's why I think it was deserving of the win. And I'm proud of Beyonce. Unlike Darrell, I do keep hoping she keeps submitting to the Grammys and keep because it's actually because her work deserves to be rewarded. And I don't think it's fair to just say, hey, we're going to stop submitting because you already got it. No, if the work is great, it deserves to be awarded and celebrated. And if you look in the room of the Grammy audience, you saw her actual peers being like, yeah, not just because she should have had this years ago, because the work was actually good. And that's my take on that.
I will say too, with all of that being said, will say after all of this, it really has me hoping that Act Three really is rock, because seeing everything that she did with country music and all the commotion she started, but I think like great conversations and things like that, and it also helped people learn a lot of things through this experience. I hope she does the same thing with the next genre, and I hope she really does do another genre again, and and has people get upset about that again, and have people get all riled up about that. That'd be really cool to see her win Best Rock Album or something like that next. So I look forward to seeing what she
Like
does next.
Beyonce has won
Actually,
she's won Grammys in R&B, pop, rap, country, and dance. She's won it in
dance,
5
electronic.
categories.
I actually don't see, even if it is rock, which I really hope it is, by the way, I don't really see that community being that upset. That be like, I don't see it being as big of a political statement, just because one,
Mm,
there are actually more black people in the rock
true.
scene than country, but I think also because country, I guess what people also forget about this is that her whole impetus for even making this album was the racism that she endured simply by having a country inspired song on Lemonade and daring to perform it at an award show that they invited her to.
Mm,
Like, it's I think that Beyonce being able to inspire widespread conversation about an entire genre of music and how it has been allowed to explicitly exclude people of color, and it has gone untested. It has gone, like, for so long we just accepted that country is just a white genre. We were okay with Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish being the only representation for black people because we thought, well, it's just a white thing. And for that reason, most black people don't identify with country. There's a reason why a lot of black people don't listen to country music, because who wants to keep hearing stories about white people? Who wants to keep watching? Who wants to be deeply entrenched in a genre that doesn't even represent you, that doesn't even allow you to try to be represented, that invalidates you at every turn? So the fact that a black woman, she never said she was going to be a country singer from here on out. She never said she's going to be the best one. She never said she's going to have the best country album. She said she's going to make music in that genre because she fucking wants to, and she has the right to, and she dares you to tell her she can't. And because she did that, we have been able to experience so many other black country artists. Like, I don't think I've ever even been aware of this many black country artists in one year, if I'm being frank. And like Nickie said, Pulitzer Prize. And I do take back that comment about her never submitting again, because let's be frank, like, I mean, I love to see Beyonce at an award show. Um, but yeah,
Late as always.
and you know what? She could be late. She could be late. They better be happy she's there. Beyonce showing up to the Grammys is a moment for the Grammys, not Beyonce. So I hope that Act 3 comes out this year, because honestly I need to keep being fed. Um and I hope it's not, although I know y'all saying rock, but I actually heard that it was gonna be like a rap album.
I don't want that.
Like, not at all.
I don't want that. We already got that way. Everything is love. I don't need that. Also, shout out to Kendrick because
yes.
homie took home 5 Grammys for one song that was a diss track.
Oh my
Woo!
gosh. I said this to Nicki, but I was like, Loki, I feel a little bit bad for Drake. I don't even like him like that. Like, can you
It's,
imagine being Drake last night?
listen, he's doing everything he can to distract himself, because he's currently overseas right now, performing and doing concerts right now. So I know that's to help his ego and make himself feel better. Like, oh, I still have fans. People still like me and want to come see me. But it's like, I'm sorry, buddy. 5 Grammys off a song that's a diss track about you, and then I'm gonna follow up the week later with a Super Bowl performance of it, because you know he's performing it at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he already said it.
Of course,
he already said it.
And then when he won, and everybody said that
A minor.
Line, my gosh,
Blue Ivy knew the lyrics.
That was the highlight of my night.
Nickie, was that you who said they heard? I think Nickie said he heard Drake was performing in a lounge.
Jordan told me that he was performing in a lounge. And he showed a video. It's happening.
Yeah, he is. No, if anybody's watched Moesha before, they said nothing got Drake performing at Andale's.
But the fact that Kendrick won 5 Grammys off of Not Like Us and Drake and only has 5 Grammys on his entire career is wild.
Wait, does he really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Wow, Drake really fucked up. Drake severely fucked up.
The only person that was smart in that situation was J. Cole. He knew to bow out quickly. He said, "You know what?"
And let's talk about it, y'all, real quick. Kendrick won. Keep in mind, Not Like Us was from a series of diss tracks. Off the dome, quick writing, quick producing diss tracks. And he won 5 Grammys from that. He did there was not a full, drawn out process for that song.
Not at all.
No, at all. It wasn't even a big release. It was a series of songs, and that song just took to everyone. Everyone just said, "Oh, this is it."
It wasn't even supposed to be a single.
It wasn't.
Literally not even really a single.
It's not. Literally, the public made that song what it was. Truly.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, the last little thing that I want to do is to talk about how the three of us did when it came to who do we think would win and who we want to win. So, actually, who do we think will win? The fact that the numbers were so close is hilarious. I had to count them 3 times to figure out if my numbers were true.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So, Jordan, you actually got the most for who do you want to win.
Mm-hmm.
I got the most for who do I want to win?
To win. Not who do you think will win, who do you want to win?
Oh, okay. Interesting.
He got the most right in terms of who he wants to win.
Who he wants to win. Darrell, you and I tied for who do you think would win. And the tie was we both had 9, Jordan had 8.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And guess what? The last category, the next to last category is what changed it. We were all tied until Best African Music Performance. We both said Love Me JJ. Jordan, you said Higher.
Oh, I said who I think will win, and I said instead of saying who I wanted to win, because who I wanted to win was I should have flipped it.
Yeah,
damn.
But I will say we didn't do very great, honestly, because Billie Eilish really messed us up.
Well,
we also were going off of our experience, experience-wise. I think too, the Grammys obviously has changed it up this year. Clearly, we can't deny that. And again, I think those 13,000 people clearly have changed the world a bit. But I think if it would have been the old school way of how it was the last few years, I think we would have been more in the correct round. To be honest,
because none of us even thought to say that Cowboy Carter would win.
Mm-mm.
None of us thought to say that because we thought. Of course
we all said that.
No, we didn't think she. We said who we wanted to win.
No. I'm reading it. It says, "Who do you think will win? Cowboy Carter, Cowboy Carter, Cowboy Carter." Jordan said Cowboy Carter / Brat, and then who do you want to win? We all said Cowboy Carter.
I said Cowboy Carter.
You did. You said Cowboy Carter. Who do you want to win? You said Cowboy Carter. Who do you think will win? You said Cowboy Carter.
Oh, I must have been manifesting.
That's actually what we said. We said we're going to manifest this
because I didn't think she was going to win. I actually texted y'all during the simulcast, and when they gave her a country album, I was like, "Oh, she didn't win."
Oh, Darrell was being very negative. He was not. No. He was not optimistic at all. The whole award show.
First of all, okay, so that's true. But I was saying because I was saying. They always do this thing where if it's in an award category that she's not usually nominated in, they show that, and they usually don't show it on TV. But then I thought after I sent that, a little bit later, I was like, wait, they always show Best Country Album on, it's always televised. So whether she won or not, it would have been televised. And it actually is a better case for her winning Album of the Year, because if she hadn't won Best Country Album, it would have been weird for her to win Album of the Year. So I changed course on that, but I did think when she won that, I was like, damn, she didn't win. But I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was wrong.
we both all thought she was taking Yaya. Sierra Farrell took 4 Grammys home. She won that whole genre.
You know good for her. Good for her.
Good for her. Yes, absolutely.
Also, good for Chris Brown. Good for Chris
Oh
Brown.
yeah, Chris Brown. Yeah,
he's not punching no walls today. So.
I said, I hope that man can rest now that he has a Grammy and continue to focus on giving us 10-track albums or less. Thank you.
Child, please.
But,
and if it's a deluxe, no more than 15.
And until our country people, Beyonce is leaving your genre this year.
Yeah,
you will have your racist genre back at the end of the year.
At the end of the year, then you guys can move on.
But y'all leave some room for the ones that showed up last year. Y'all leave some room.
Yeah, because listen, she's going to have the highest rating country tour of the year too. So that's already taken with her 9 cities, which that's a whole different story. But she's leaving y'all genre this year, so you can have your hats and rebel flags back.
We won't need it after the tour. So, which by the way, somebody pointed out that of all the dates, the only one. Did you see the one about Vegas? You saw that?
Probably a residency is what people are thinking.
I think it's a residency.
Why? I didn't see that.
Because Vegas doesn't have a pre-sale code.
Yeah, and it's not even on Ticketmaster. You can't there's no date for Vegas at all. And it's a
Is Vegas the last? Is Vegas the last show?
It's the last on the poster.
But there's no dates for it.
So you think it's going to lead into a residency? Interesting.
Baby, I'm about to be in Vegas.
I'm not.
I also saw she's doing. I also realized 4th of July she's doing a concert in DC.
In DC.
I said, "Wow, that is."
I want to go to that one.
And guess what? Also, she's doing Juneteenth in Paris. Niggas in Paris on Juneteenth.
Wow. You know what? Her mind. That woman's mind. It's crazy. I love it. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, because when I was looking at the dates, I was like, not niggas in Paris on Juneteenth.
And that's why she's the best. That's why nobody can beat her.
Okay. Well, this was fun, guys.
It was.
Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. This comes out on... We're back, guys.
Yeah.
Listen. He didn't want to say when it's coming out. He said it's going to come out when it gets out.
It's coming out this week.
It's coming this week.
You are here. We recorded this week, and you are hearing it this week. Look at you.
Ooh, and stay tuned because we have something very fun and special coming up.
Happening in March.
Happening in March. We have something very fun and special.
It's not coming in February. It's happening in March.
I said, just we have to tell them when. Just say that if you stay tuned,
it's coming.
Something very fun and interesting is coming up.
It's coming.
Ooh, put what you think it is in the comments. Ooh.
Yeah, I would actually like that. I'll be curious what they think it's going to be.
I'll be curious what they think it is. And we can give like a little clue. We can give like a little clue every episode until then.
All right, who has a clue for this time? Let's drop it. I'm going to do this. We'll drop some Easter eggs here and there.
Don't make it super obvious though.
That's not obvious.
I was talking to Nickie.
You kind of said one. You said it. The Easter egg itself is a clue, actually.
Oh, it is. See, now Darrell confused. All right, bye guys.